You are listening to The Huddle with Dave Wyman, Michael Bumpus, Stacey Ross, and right now, Boye Mafe. Boye, you got 1 week in the books, 16 more to go. What's the messaging to the team this week heading into Detroit?
Definitely after last week, understanding where we were lacking and what we needed to improve on. So, as a team, we kind of came together, realized that we had to fix some things, and, we had to add things to our arsenal and just understand how we play our best ball, getting back to what we knew, And so just focusing on that and getting back into rhythm and, that cohesion, that trying to hit that midseason stride early. So working on that right now.
Second year in the league, second time going to Detroit. You got like a routine you got now? You comfortable? Because I remember when my first year, it was like a scramble. Like, what do I wear? How do I organize my stuff? Like, how was it your second year in traveling again?
It's definitely interesting. You kind of know what to expect. Last year, like you said, you kind of figuring it out on the fly. Now I'm realizing what I do need or what I don't need or what I need to get ready for the game, especially 2-day travel, all that. So, going through that process, understanding what I like to do on traveling and how I like to prepare for games, that's definitely something I've took a big note on.
Well, and just for everything in your life, right? I mean, coming into your second year, how freeing is that to you? Like, it kind of frees you up to just think about football, right? I mean, you don't have to worry about your first year. You're like, I don't know where I'm going to live. I got to pay bills. I got to do. You're used to that stuff now, right?
Yeah, 100%. And that's the one thing I used last year to understand that, learn that about myself and what type of schedule and what was going on. And now that I have that comfortability of I know where I'm living, I know where everything is, and I know how to prepare for a week, what our weekly schedule is going to look like and how we're going to prepare. So now I'm understanding where I got my time and where to use my time. Yeah.
You guys are still going to have a couple days of prep. So I know that for you guys, you're just kind of jumping into this. But from playing Detroit last year to looking at them this year, do they look like a different team? Do they look improved? Tell us a bit about what you're seeing.
Yeah, we definitely, especially after week one, they had a strong performance against KC. So, you take that into account. You look at those things. You see how, their offense has transformed from last year to this year. Obviously you go back and watch when we played them,
right?
Study that film. And on top of that, you see what they're doing this year and see the wrinkles and see what new things they're adding. So he's definitely understanding that part of, what they're bringing to the table and prepare for all occasions.
The public, it just overreacts, right? And us, too, it's our job to react to what we see. And I would imagine that you guys are watching film and saying, man, if we just do this, that, and the third, man, we'll be good to go. So how confident is this team going into Detroit, knowing that you've watched the film and you feel like all your wrongs could be corrected?
It's definitely one of those things that you just understand is all right, we have to get back on like I said, we're working on getting back on that groove and getting into that cohesion, understanding how to play off of each other. That was our first game. So we got to understand each other. Some people, they play different. So you're understanding that. We're understanding how to communicate, what works best for everybody.
Yep. Hey, Boye, tell us a little bit about B.T. Jordan, your pass rush specialist. I mean, it sounds like he had like his own business, and he's kind of like Cliff Averill, does camps and stuff did camps like that. But how big of a difference has he made?
Tremendous. Definitely understanding, myself as a pass rusher. He helped me see things that I probably, looked over and understanding the importance of, the little things. Yeah. So, it's definitely, we talk about pass rush in such a detail that I'm understanding how much more important it is for, the little things and, creating a plan that actually benefits me as a player and my play style. So he's been definitely a tremendous help.
What are some of the little details and things that, can you verbalize it or tell us, or you don't want to give away secrets? I know that, but
just more so just understanding, my tools. Understanding my toolbox. You go to college, high school, you just kind of out there, just right. Understanding. Oh, let me just do this. It works. Okay, let me just keep doing that. Yeah. Where now it's understanding actually, you have the body type or you have the skill set to do this, that, and the third. So understanding that this may benefit me more for my play style, my type of play.
Pete Carroll mentioned that this is kind of the time, after a tough loss or maybe just when a season's starting, when the young guys are looking at the older guys to, see what they're doing and what they're saying. When you look around the locker room, when you listen to guys, whether it's in your position group or outside of it, maybe just on the defense as a whole, who's talking? What are they saying? Who are the leaders? What's the tone?
I mean, it's safe to assume where a lot of people know who the leaders are on our defense. And for us, it's just, the same message. It's just understanding like it's a long season. A lot of things are going to happen. Things are going to be up and down. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. So, as a group, we're understanding that, right now we can only go up. So now we're just having that mindset of, okay, let's make this climb.
Yeah.
Boy, you remind me of this guy I used to play with. His name's Eric Frampton, right? Coolest dude off the field, and then he got on the field and something happened to him. And I see that to you, man. You get on the field and something happens to you and you get into the zone to where you're just ready to go. And for some athletes, it's tough for them to get into that, right? You guys are elite, so obviously you found a way to do it. Was there someone that helped you kind of tap into that? Has that always been in you? And like, what kind of tools do you use to get you going, to get there?
It definitely was something that I had to learn about myself and get it to that point. It's definitely one of those things where you got to separate it. Like you said, when I'm out here, I'm in a conversation with you guys, I'm just talking. But once you get in between those lines, it's different. I'm saying? Your mindset has to switch. You have to understand that there's a job to get done. You know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't be me if I would be the person just let the situation hurt. If I went out there easy, cool, then I'm not going to have the best game. But if I go and lock in and get my mindset right, then I'm going to get, the results and I play how I want to play. And, it's never perfect. It's never always what you want, but you try to tap into it as much as you can. And, you do small things. Some people, pre-game, for them, it's walking the stadium. Sometimes for people, it's, that some people, they'll put a towel over their head, get in the locker room and look down, talk to themselves for a second, and they tap into that person.
Right.
So.
I would imagine what it would be like if exactly this version of you was on the field. Matthew, hi, nice to meet you. I would help you up.
Somehow I don't think that's Boye.
Yeah.
So how long does it take you to I remember for me it would be like 30 minutes maybe afterwards, but how long does it take you to kind of come down? Because you got to get yourself in a pretty rough mood to play this game.
100%. I have a little decompression. I give myself, like you said, 30. I give myself from once I leave the locker room till I get to my house, and then once I say about 20 minutes in the house, then it's like, all right, it's over. Let's work on the next thing.
Yeah. Right.
It's always really, really tough. Last question here from us. It's always really tough when you have a solid game. Like we were talking about how we thought you and Chenna were pretty solid. And then you can't go in a locker room and be like, hey, you know what? I'm not taking this one. Like, this is good for me. Like, no one's going to be that guy. Right. So what I'm going to ask instead is, how do you build on your week one? Like, what are some of your goals heading into, even just this first quarter of the season?
For me, it's a big thing is, I've never been like an individual accolade person. At the end of the day, I don't care if I had a great game we lost, or if I had a terror game we won. I want to win at the end of the day. And, at the end of the day, that's the focus. So, at the end of the day, you got to it's a collective. If you work in the individuals and trying to get individual goals, you'll never get what you want. Mm-hmm. But if you work as a collective, you work as a team, you work as a group, that is when you start seeing success, because that's where individual success will show up. And
all right.
For me, going into that from week 1 to week 2, now you got to see, like, all right, work on pass rush, work on this, work on that. And there's always stuff to work on. There's always stuff to get better at. And honestly, I told myself going into this week is just be a better player and find the ways where I can do more. And
Boye, it's always a pleasure. We appreciate you joining us. Have fun the rest of this week. Try to take it easy. We know it wasn't the start you guys wanted, but we also know that there's a lot of stuff to be excited about with this team. So thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate having me.
All right, you guys, don't go anywhere. This is The Huddle.